Hello, and welcome back to Just Talk About Sports. I'm Ethan.
I'm Matthew.
I'm Drew.
I'm Luca.
And Drew, what are we doing today?
Just talking about sports, baby. Woo!
Bringing the energy in another star-studded episode here for our NFL playoff predictions part 2, as this time we're going to be covering the AFC. As if you guys have not watched our previous video, the NFC one, make sure you go check that one out first as we do a recap and how our picks were in that video. But for now, we'll continue and just jump right into the AFC for this week's NFL divisional rounds of the playoffs. And we'll start off with the first game. This game is going to be on Saturday night. This is the battle of the 2018 draft class. This is the Bills versus the Ravens. Matt, who do you have in this amazing game of the Young Guns?
I think this is the best game of the weekend in terms of what's going to be the closest. It's not the best game overall of the weekend, but this is going to be your fireworks show. These defenses have been on and off. The Ravens, though, have been on the past few weeks, and there's no questioning that. We saw a regression in the Bills' defense this year. Last year, we were talking about them as the best defensive unit in football. This year, not the case. And ultimately, that's what says to me Baltimore. I think Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are elite talents. Both are top 5 in their position in the NFL. And if anybody disagrees with that, I don't have anything to say to you. You have a top 5 corner in the league in Tre'Davious White when healthy. Got a top 5 safety in Micah Hyde. Got a top 15 in Jordan Poyer. That team is very, very talented. But Lamar Jackson exists. And the Bills have not done a good job defending the run all season long, and they won't do it here. Lamar Jackson is a weapon. J.K. Dobbins is a weapon. Marquise Brown's speed alone makes him a weapon. Mark Andrews is one of the most consistent tight ends in the business. And Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakoue, Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, Chuck Clark, I could keep going. This defense is filled to the brim. They got a young linebacking core as well. This game just screams, and Matthew Judon, by the way. This game screams Baltimore to me because they just have the mismatch in talent, in my personal opinion. It's going to be a great game, but I'll take Baltimore.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there, Paz. I have Baltimore as well. See, when you look at Baltimore, you said it all. Lamar Jackson is explosive. He's an electric runner, and he's a good enough passer. He may not be like a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes, but he's a good enough passer to make it work in the Ravens system. And that's another thing. You mentioned the Baltimore D. They stepped up huge, limited Derrick Henry to 40 yards rushing. 40 yards rushing. And here's the thing. You have another matchup where Baltimore can key on one guy. They can key in on Josh Allen and the Buffalo pass game. Because what I see out of Buffalo, although they're a very good, very explosive team, they're very one-dimensional. Their pass game is explosive. It's lightning. Allen and Diggs, arguably the most lethal combination in the league. But they don't run the ball well. Their run game runs through Josh Allen. And Zach Moss is out now. If we look at the Indianapolis game, Josh Allen outran Devin Singletary and Zach Moss combined. Josh Allen is their run game. And as far as a one-dimensional team goes, they will only go as far as Josh Allen takes them. And with that Baltimore defense, I think that they'll step up and limit the influence of Josh Allen. And quite frankly, as far as Buffalo's defense goes, I don't think they'll be able to stop Lamar Jackson on offense. Like if we look at, the Indianapolis Colts game, Buffalo's defense did not do well in the trenches. The Colts ran all over them. And that's not a very good matchup for the number 1 rushing team in the NFL. I'm taking the Ravens here.
I got to say, I tricked you guys on who I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick this team. I know it looks very bad.
Whoa!
Yeah, I am choosing the Ravens, y'all. You know why I'm choosing the Ravens?
Oh, my God.
You know why I'm choosing the Ravens? Yeah, we see Josh Allen and the Bills. We know what he's capable of. Probably a top 5 quarterback already. I mean, we saw what he did this season. He went from a 58% completion rate from last season to almost 70 this season. So we see what he has and what Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley, Gabriel Davis. We see what they bring to the table. However, like Matthew said, there is someone in the NFL that exists named Lamar Jackson. Okay. Lamar Jackson is probably the most elusive quarterback there probably is in the National Football League in terms of running. I have never seen a quarterback that can run like him. And we knew the Tennessee Titans, they were okay against the run. Good Lord have mercy. Did the Ravens destroy them? And Lamar himself, okay, this is the best running offense in the National Football League, okay, almost averaging 200 yards a contest. Yes, they have the worst passing game there is, but Lamar Jackson made timely throws last weekend. You got Hollywood Brown, you got Mark Andrews, you got Miles Boykin, you got those guys. And you got three running backs, okay, besides Lamar Jackson. You got Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. All those guys can run with the football, okay? And did you all see Lamar with that touchdown last Sunday? I mean, he looked like a running back doing that, okay? But like Drew and Matthew said, that Ravens defense has heated up at the right time. I mean, we can go on and on how good this defense is. I mean, you got Williams, you got Calais Campbell, you got Patrick Queen at the linebacker position, Marcus Peters in the secondary, Bowser, Judon. These guys are monsters on the defensive side of the ball. These are the same guys that limited Derrick Henry to 40 rushing yards last week. That is unheard of in the National Football League, considering it's Derrick Henry. But I'm going to take the Ravens. That is my bold take for today.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a bold take because I think all of us are pretty much stuck on the Ravens, which, I mean, I would be the first to say it, but I mean, I was against the Bills, last week, and they almost choked it compared to what everyone was saying before. They were saying the Bills were Super Bowl contenders, and then 1 week later, everyone's against the Bills, and I think that's because of the Colts being able to shut them down, and that shows that the Bills are indeed stoppable, and they can be stopped despite going 13-3 in the regular season. So, I mean, I was already on the right track in my opinion compared to some other people, but I still didn't get the pick right, so I have nowhere to talk. But like you guys said, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, ever since Lamar Jackson, I know I said it last week, had to relieve himself in the John, take a quick pit stop. He has been absolutely on fire, and that's been the entire Ravens team. They have not lost since he's had to take a pit stop. So I think this Ravens team is going to continue to keep going on, and I mean, I think the Bills will be able to keep it close. I just think this, the fact that, like you or Drew said, the Bills are a little bit one-sided on offense. They're going to be having to find some sort of way to try and stop this Ravens team, as they are absolutely red hot headed into this game. I mean, the fact that they're going to be in Buffalo in the cold, I think might give them an advantage, but we'll see. I still have to take the Ravens and keep it and go Lamar Jackson.
Well, this is not to take any credit away from the Buffalo Bills offense. It's just like you guys said, they are a one-dimensional offense. It is Josh Allen. Their running game, I am not impressed with Devin Singletary this season. He was good. He wasn't good enough, though. Okay? Then you had Zach Moss. He was good at times, but he's gone right now, okay? They got the receivers. We got that. Sean McDermott's done a great job with this offense. But Baltimore has played in bad weather too. In the last time I checked, Baltimore rains a lot. So they've played in rain before, and they've played in the cold too. So they are very capable of winning this game.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Buffalo opened up the week as 3-point favorites. We're all taking Baltimore here. I just want to note that. But I guess we all have similar ideas, and maybe the line will change. Who knows?
This matchup on paper just favors Baltimore. You look at what you see defensively. These offenses are both polar opposites. One's really good at passing, one's really good at running. The other one's terrible at the other. But the defensive matchups where the difference lies, and that is clear advantage Baltimore.
Yep. I mean, you could even use an example from last week. I mean, the Browns were a complete rushing offense, and the Steelers were a big passing offense. And who ended up coming out victorious in that game? The Browns.
Rushing off.
So, and the Browns and the rushing offense. So I think Ravens are a logical pick, at least from NFL fan standpoint. From a non-NFL fan, you'll think, oh, it's the Bills. Got it. They're going to be Super Bowl favorites. So, hey, at least we're all on the same page for at least one of these games. So, woo! But we'll continue on to our final game of these predictions and the final game of our AFC for the divisional round, and that is the famed Progressive versus State Farm Bowl, otherwise known as the Browns versus the Chiefs. Baker Mayfield takes on Patrick Mahomes after an upset for the Browns, and a very surprising upset. And they're going to be taking on the mighty Chiefs, who have looked like untouchable up to this point. So, Matt, who do you have in this very interesting matchup between these two quarterbacks?
Allow me to introduce you to what I call the matchup of the century. This is Goliath And this is David. David took down Goliath. Unfortunately, not all fairy tales have a happy ending, and this one's not going to. I think this game goes to show how far the Browns have come from 18 years to now. They destroyed Pittsburgh. There was never a chance for Pittsburgh. Shout out to Urinating Tree. But you look at what Cleveland did against Pittsburgh's top acclaimed defense. They battered them with the running game. Jarvis Landry had it firing on all cylinders, and the defense was on point. But this is Patrick Mahomes. This is Tyreek Hill. This is Travis Kelce. This is the Kansas City Chiefs. This is not a fraudulent Steelers team whose half of the players are only thinking about making TikToks. This is not that team. This is business. This is not game for Kansas City. And as much as I hate to say it, because you can tell, I have an OBJ jersey sitting right here. I have a Browns mug sitting right here. I love Cleveland. If I wasn't a Jacksonville fan, I'd be a Cleveland fan. But there's just no chance.
You know, Paz, I'm gonna disagree with you. And like you're wearing your Browns hat, you pick the Chiefs. I have my Tyreek Hill jersey. This is my upset of the week. I'm picking the Browns because, believe it or not, there is a path for the Browns to win this game. All right, let's look at last week. Cleveland, they played really well. They were missing Kevin Stefanski. They were missing 2 Pro Bowl offensive linemen, Joe Bitonio and Jack Conklin, and they were down Denzel Ward, and Pittsburgh never had a shot. All right, it was very clear that Cleveland was the better prepared team, and the better prepared team won. And let's not forget, I preach that momentum is an important factor. Cleveland has the most momentum out of any team remaining in the playoffs right now. And that is undisputable. They do. 18 years of torment, and you stomp on your division rival that clowned you. They are red hot. And on the flip side, Kansas City, their momentum is down, believe it or not. All right, they looked less than adequate in the month of December. Patrick Mahomes has not looked good. The Kansas City, the big red machine, has slowed a little bit. Like if we look, Week 16, they only beat Atlanta by a field goal, and Atlanta holds the 4th overall pick in next year's draft. And then LA, they rest Mahomes, Hill, and Kelce, and they give up 38 and lose 21-38. And let's talk about that for a second. The last time Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce will have played a football game would be 20 days. A 20-day, 3-week gap. That's a long time for a football player to not play. All right. And this has happened before, where a team has sat for 20 days, just rested on their laurels, come out and lost. I quote the 2011 Green Bay Packers. They went 15-1, rested Aaron Rodgers week 17. They had the bye, and they lost at home to the New York Giants. Okay, so this has happened before. And the way Cleveland wins the game here is if they keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. Stick to your bread and butter, pound it with Chubb and Hunt, have Baker Mayfield, go and play action, keep the ball safe, don't turn it over, and they'll be fine. They have a shot. They have a shot to win this thing, all right? Don't be shocked if the Browns shock the world. I'm picking Cleveland.
I want to say one thing before Luca goes real quick, and it is that the Baltimore Ravens did this last year with Lamar Jackson, and they sat him for RG3 in the final week of the season. They had a bye, and then all hell broke loose. It is possible. It's just unlikely. Luca, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, both of you bring up very good points. And Drew, that divisional rival that you picked, that you thought they was so confident that they're going to win. Yeah, look what happened. They looked like
I was wrong. All right, I will wear with pride. I was wrong about Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I should have seen it coming. I ignored the fact that Pittsburgh was cold in the last 5 weeks. They only had won once. All right, I ignored that. I picked against the Browns. I'm not doing that this week. Okay.
All right. Well. as much as I love the Cleveland Browns, like we all do, I feel like we all a soft spot for them, okay? Unlike Juju Smith-Schuster that was doing Corvette, the Browns were doing that last weekend, okay? We all know, Corvette, okay. We all know that. But the last time I checked, you guys know the name of Patrick Mahomes, that $500 million signed quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, probably one of the top quarterback in the National Football League. I hope you guys have heard of him, because as soon as you see him, it is all hell broke loose, okay? Patrick Mahomes is the number one best quarterback in the National Football League, okay? It maybe not the best year, but he still played pretty damn good, okay? 38 touchdowns and six interceptions. That doesn't happen for every quarterback, okay? They're 16th in the running game, first in the passing game, okay? Their offense, though, is just a juggernaut, okay? You got Travis Kelce, one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end in the National Football League. You got Tyreek Hill, one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. Demarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins, McCole Hardman, okay? You got Le'Veon Bell at your running back position. is Clyde Edwards-Helaire going to be playing this week? I'm not sure.
They're back and forth. They don't know.
Okay, he's a great running back. We need to understand that. You got Eric Bieniemy being the play caller. He's a great offensive coordinator. The defense, like last year, it was susceptible to making mistakes. But look what happened in the playoffs. They got drastically better. And I expect the exact same thing. You got Sorensen. You got Frank Clark. You got the Honey Badger in the secondary. I love the Honey Badger, by the way. But what I say about the Browns, though, is that secondary is still a little weird. It's a little vulnerable to Patrick Mahomes, because we know what Patrick Mahomes can do with the football, okay? I like Denzel Ward. I like Sheldon Richardson. I like B.J. Goodson. I like all of them. The problem is I believe they're going to give up too many good plays. They did it against the Steelers. There was a time that the Steelers could have actually came back, but they didn't, because Cleveland was able to put them away sooner rather than later, okay? Baker Mayfield has lived up to those Hulu commercials and those progressive commercials that he's finally done it. I like him a lot now. He's progressed before our very eyes. He looked phenomenal in that Steelers game, okay? And they destroyed that Steelers defense with 48 points, okay? Like Drew said, stick to the basics, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and when you need Baker Mayfield, he'll be there. I just don't see them overcoming Kansas City.
I will kind of set the scene of where I'm thinking. So I think the game's going to start off kind of slow in terms of Kansas City, and the Browns are going to take advantage of that, probably go up like at least a touchdown, maybe two. And we all know what happens when teams go up or go ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs, especially what happened last year. And especially with Houston, if you all remember that. Kansas City comes back, and they come back with vengeance. I think Kansas City is going to be able to handle the Browns pretty easily. I know the Browns, this has been a very good feel-good story. I know, once again, I was wrong too. Me, Matt, and Drew were all wrong, and we chose the Steelers. But the Steelers and the Chiefs are two different teams. The Steelers have been on a losing streak, and they were just looking like a rough team. Where Kansas City's, I know they had a rough game against Atlanta, but we all have those dud games, or most teams have those dud games, and I think that was one of them. But I feel like Kansas City will be able to bounce on track, most likely in the second half, because it's going to take some time, like Matt said, for players like Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes get back or to get used to playing on the field again after 20 days of playing. So that's why I think that it'll be a slow start for a very high-scoring game, hopefully, because these two offenses have obviously shown that they could score or put a lot of points on the board. So I'm thinking that Kansas City will be able to run away with this one. But I feel like the Browns are going to go up early, and then basically we're going to see a very big switch in the score, and we'll see another usual great comeback from Patrick Mahomes. But
what a rough week for Houston sports on that.
Yeah. Ethan, here's the thing that you predict a Kansas City blowout, right? Here's the thing about that. Kansas City haven't been winning big games at all this season, and it hasn't just been in December. They have not won a game by double-digit points since November 1st against the Jets. Every other win has been by single digits. So I'm just expect this game to be close. However, I will play devil's advocate. If this game turns into a shootout, Kansas City can run away with this very, very quickly. The way the Browns win is with controlling the ball and controlling time of possession. They will not win a shootout with this Kansas City Chiefs team.
Yeah, that is definitely a very good point, Drew. Thank God you addressed that because that's very important. But the thing is, there are times in the regular season I was convinced the Chiefs were toying around with other teams. It looked like they were toying with other teams. Now that the postseason is here, we better see that engine going because we will know if they were toying with other teams or if this is who they are. I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm just saying if you're going to
We are who we thought they were.
No, they are not who we
are
thought.
We are who we thought they were.
They are who we thought they were.
That is the best press conference.
I know Luca loves that.
I do. Devin Hester. But that's beyond this topic. But I really do think Kansas City has the capability of doing so. Okay. We saw it last year. They just dismantled Houston. And what was in the other team? Remind me of the other team, guys.
You can think of San Francisco, and then there was because that was San Francisco in the Super Bowl. They were down.
Okay, they overcame. So yeah, this team, like we just saw, they are able to overcome adversity. Can the Browns overcome adversity? We don't know that yet. We will find out though once this game plays out.
I beg to differ.
Well, besides the coaching thing, besides that.
I don't. How much more adversity could you go through? I mean, you know,
Cleveland hasn't been in the playoffs in 18 years.
It's Cleveland. Cleveland and adversity go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah,
okay, we can talk about that. We can talk about that, but can we talk about the fact that they are behind 10 or 14 points rather? Can they overcome that?
Well, they lost to the Jets.
This is a great fairy tale. We don't know that. So there's a bunch of unknowns. I'm not saying they're not capable of winning this game. Of course they're capable of winning this game because look what they've done this season.
Any given Sunday.
That's my saying, by the way, and I put in my videos. But we can.
Yeah, well, I'm saying any given Sunday, the Browns can beat the Chiefs. All right,
you heard it here first.
That's my bold take.
I mean, I'm not going to be like Ethan. You're like the Kansas City Chiefs are going to blow them out. No, I think it's going to be closer than people actually think because this team is capable of it. I know they are. I mean, 18 years without making the postseason, they made it this year and upset at the big brother in the division. They can do it to the reigning Super Bowl defending champions. I don't see why they couldn't, but I just have Kansas City for this.
Oh, wow.
What a wild little segment there. I think we're all hyped about this game. Final word here. I think we're all extremely hyped about this game. We are all rooting for Cleveland. I think I speak for everybody. We are all rooting for Cleveland. This is a team that we want to see go far. It is that feel-good story in the NFL this year. But there are some roadblocks that you just can't get through. I don't think Kansas City is a roadblock you can get through, and that's it.
Yeah, that will. I mean, we'll see because remember, it's football. We never know what'll happen, and it could go any direction because
any given Sunday.
And that's any given Sunday. So with that, we'll likely conclude this discussion for the AFC Divisional Playoff predictions. We are hoping, at least me and Matt are trying to make a redemption tour as we're trying to catch up to Drew and Luca as they are above us in the rankings. I'm only one win behind, but Matt's got a lot of work to make up. So, but that will do it. I hope everyone has enjoyed. Make sure to check out our other video, the NFC one, and also special announcement. There's going to be a special 50th episode coming up sooner than later. So be on the watch for that. Yay. But until then, we'll just be here just talking about sports.
Later.